Yasodanandana Raja Janadandana Yasodanandana Raja Janadandana Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Palat Singha, Palat Singha, Palat Singha, Jaya Palat Singha. Ishi Palat Singha Bhakti. Wow, there's some divine action. Oh, this is impressive. This was an unfortunate pujari who got a little lesson by Lord Nishingadev, I think. No, I'm joking, I'm joking. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Oh, sorry. Vasudevaya. Let's do this all together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. My dear devotees, I want to give a class today on the subject of chanting with absorption. I must tell you the reason why. In this age of Kali, the Lord is most intensely felt in His holy name. This is a very merciful form of the Lord. But as we all know, chanting is not always so easy for us to feel Krishna's presence in the holy name is also not an easy thing. Our days are increasingly busy, our minds are increasingly distracted, and it's not so easy really to chant with absorption, and there is really no other technique than your intense desire to do that. You will learn a few things, hopefully today, that could make it easier for you, but there is no replacement to your own desire that you make, which comes when you make a serious inventory on your chanting, where you really see, how is my chanting, how is it going? Do I feel more taste as the years go by? Do I feel more absorption when I chant? Or is it that it becomes difficult, or I'm losing my relationship to the Holy? Now, my dear devotees, you make so loud. You should. We hear you. Is it possible to make it with less sound, or? It seems as if there is a quarrel in the Pujari department. It's so loud. Prabhupada once in 68, he could see that it was not easy for his devotees to chant the holy name and to be absorbed. And he must have looked over his movement. He had started it in New York, and now he was in San Francisco. He asked the devotees to find a nice place to walk in the morning, and there is a nice lake, the Stowe Lake, and he did a morning walk there, and he addressed the problem which his early disciples faced. So this is what he said: life is short, and it is so much disturbed. So how is it possible to practice Krishna consciousness? Yes, so difficult. And he gives the answer, therefore there's this one practice: chanting Hare Krishna and hearing. That is very nice. Acha, so we should chant and hear ourselves chanting. No? And then he adds another point to it, which for me was absolutely new when I first heard it in a class of Purijan Prabhu. We all know we should chant and we should hear, but there is something else which is necessary to make the practice successful. And praying to Krishna, please give me strength. Hare, O energy of Krishna, O Krishna, I'm so fallen. I have no strength. Please accept me. That's all. I have no qualification. I'm frail. Frail is like a I know frail bones, that they can break at any moment, I have no qualification. I am frail. I'm trying, but I'm failing. All these appeals should be made. And Krishna is all powerful. He can do anything. Even we do not perform trying our best. If we fail, Krishna will help us. So if we try our best and we fail, Krishna will help us. Just like a child. The child tries his best, but he falls down. Then the mother comes and takes it up and says, all right, come on, walk. Like that. Yes. So I like to be with my mind on this morning walk with Prabhupada, where he said that despite our efforts, it seems to never be enough. We seem to not overcome that breaking problem, that our enthusiasm, our determination breaks. And he says, what should we do in this situation? Anyone remembers? We should pray. Yes, thank you very much. We should pray. We should ask Krishna, I'm trying to chant your name, but it's so difficult to remain focused. Please give me strength. No, please give me strength. And I have no strength. Please accept me. That's all. My dear devotees, mark these words. There will be a time when you will need these words. On your own strength, it is most probably not possible to chant nice, to become a devotee. But you can turn to the one whom you try to attain by your efforts, no? And you can ask him, please give me strength. I'm trying, but I'm failing. And my dear devotees, whatever I will be able to say today on this subject of chanting with absorption, you will have the full benefit only if you stop in your life, make a sincere investigation of your chanting, and if it needs improvement, maybe you are at the moment sailing quite nicely in your chanting, so I guess what you will hear will also be of interest for you. But if it needs improvement, you will have to turn to the Lord and ask Him. The Lord cannot be reached by a nifty technique. That's not how it works. He can be reached only by His own mercy. Good. After having said this as an introduction, you look a little serious. Do I read your face properly, love? Yeah, I read. Good. So we will chant now the verse. It's written here. Taramatya sarva shreshta nama sankirtana. Taramatya sarva shreshta nama sankirtana. Niraparade nama loile paya premadana. Nirapada nama loile paya. Yeah, it was my mistake. I chanted it wrong, so here's the right way. Nida parate nama loile. To put it in one. Paya premadana. Nida parate nama loile. Paya premadana. Taramatye sarva shreshta. Nama Sankirtana. Niraparade nam loila paye premadana. Yes. Wow. Again. Prabhus, calm your mind. When you do deity worship, the mind should be peaceful. So, okay. Daramadya sarva sheshta nama sankirtana. Niraparade nam loile paya prema. Thank you. Another, maybe a Vaishnavi, then we can. Dharamadya sarva sheshta nama sankirtana. Dharamatye. Of the 9 types of devotional service. Sarva Shrestha. The most important of all. Nama Sankirtan. Chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Niraparade. Without offenses. Nama loile. If one chants the holy name, Paya, he gets Premadana, the most valuable ecstatic love of Krishna. Translation. Of the 9 processes of devotional service, the most important is to always chant the holy names of the Lord. If one does so, avoiding the 10 kinds of offenses, one very easily obtains the most valuable love of Godhead. Let's pause here and just let it sink in. So there are 9 processes of devotional service. You all know them. And amongst them, there is a most important one, which is to always chant the holy name of the Lord. Let me see. Prabhupada says this one word. He puts this one word, always, always. If one does so, avoiding the 10 kinds of offenses, one very easily obtains the most valuable love of Godhead. Srila Jiva Goswami, Prabhu, gives the following directions in his Bhakti Sandarbha. Now it's a long text. I will immediately read the translation. Chanting the holy name is the chief means of attaining love of Godhead. This chanting or devotional service does not depend on any paraphernalia, nor on one's having taken birth in a good family. God. So you don't need anything with you. You have already everything. You have your voice. You have your hands to clap. You're fine even if you were born in a passionate night in a brothel, Hare Krishna. By humility and weakness, one attracts the attention of Krishna. One should be the insignificant servant here. By humility and meekness, one attracts the attention of Krishna. That is the verdict of all the Vedas. Therefore, if one becomes very humble and meek, he can easily attain the lotus feet of Krishna in this age of Kali. That is the fulfillment of all great sacrifices. Lord Nrsimhadev ki jai. So that is the fulfillment. What is the fulfillment? To attain the lotus feet of Krishna. That is the fulfillment of all great sacrifices, penance and austerities, because when one achieves ecstatic love of Godhead, he attains the complete perfection of life. Therefore, whatever one does in executing devotional service must be accompanied by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. See, that is, we will do a lot of yagyas, we will do homas, we will do mantra chanting, we will do elaborate rituals and so on in the coming days. But Prabhupada, he makes this point that he quotes, it's not Prabhupada, it's Jiva Goswami, and Prabhupada translates that it must be accompanied by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. I remember when we installed the deities of Gonitai, Krishna Balaram and Radha Shyam Sundar in the Krishna Balaram temple. There were this was done by the brahmanas of I don't know from where they came, if they were Brijbasi brahmanas or not. I only remembered one had a very impressive mustache, like my grandfather, and I was very attracted to him because of that. I was young and foolish at that time. Yeah, so there were all these brahmanas, and Prabhupada had the Kirtan going on throughout, and later he did comment that the most important in the installation ceremony of the deities was really the Kirtan and not the elaborate yagyas which the brahmanas did. Um, because in this age, he makes always this point, this is the most efficient process. Now is something for you to chant along. The chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare, has been praised by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Namashtakam. Nikila Shruti Mulirat Namala Dyuti Nirajita Pada Pankajanta Ayi Mukta Kule Upasyamanam Paritastvam Harinama Sangshrayami. It's a prayer to Krishna, his holy name. Oh Harinam, you can pray to the name of Krishna. No? Oh Harinam, the tips of the toes of your lotus feet are constantly being worshipped by the glowing radiance emanating from the string of gems known as the Upanishads, the crown jewels of all the Vedas. Wow. Let us pause here. What did we just read? So many words. And we read that the holy name seems to have lotus feet, and there are tips of the lotus feet. Usually the tips of the feet, this means the area where the nails are. So they have an effulgence, and the Upanishads, who are known as the crown jewels of all the Vedas, also have an effulgence, but they bow down to the effulgence of the lotus feet of Harinam. This means, my dear devotees, a name who has feet. Have you ever seen a name who has feet? This means the name is who? Krishna. Yes, Krishna has feet. No, it's identical. The name is identical. Therefore, this prayer. You are eternally adored by liberated souls such as Narada and Shukadev. O Harinam, I take complete shelter of you. Prabhupada quotes really many slokas. I will do here one more shloka. Similarly, Sanatana Goswami has praised the chanting of the holy name as follows in his Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Jayati Jayati Namananda Rupam Murare Viramita Nija Dharma Dhyana Pujadi Yatnam Katamapi Sakritatam Muktidam Praninam Yat Paramamamritam Ekam Jivanam Bhushanam Me. All glories to the all blissful holy name of Sri Krishna, which causes the devotees to give up all conventional religious duties, meditation and worship. When somehow or other this holy name is uttered even once by a living entity, the holy name awards him liberation. The holy name of Krishna is the highest nectar. It is my very life and my only treasure. And I have a lot of difficulty to complete my rounds. And in Kirtan, I'm bored. This is really... Oh, sorry. This was my unconscious mind. talking about the reality of my relationship with the holy name. No. My dear devotees, let us ask the question. As some of you didn't get what I said, you will have to be attentive. I will say a few things which you can only catch when you are awake and listening. I will test you a few times. Hare Krishna. My dear devotees, why do we have so little taste in chanting? This we will look at. We can hear these verses and we can admire how Sanatana Swami has praised the holy name. We can admire their experience, but how can we make it our experience? This will be the subject of this class. So let us fold our, I will fold my hand. You just please join me. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatari Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Go Bhaktamin. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Yes. In the Madhurya Kadambini, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur asks a very important question. He says, it is known that through his qualities, holy names, and so on, Krishna can immediately stop the waves of the agitation of the senses when they are repeatedly relished. But why do we not experience the spiritual essence of Krishna's holy name and form and so on? And why does this appear material to our eyes and our senses? And he says this question is being asked with a lot of fear and astonishment. He goes on, he says, it is known that through the qualities the holy name immediately grants love of Godhead upon being heard and chanted. It is known that through his tirthas, the holy places, Krishna immediately gives love of Godhead. And perfection. And it is known that prasadam with ghee, milk, tambula, and so on immediately stop the waves of sense gratification. But why does this not work with me? Is this a good question? Have you eaten prasadam with milk, tambula, and what are the ghee? I think a lot. Many of you have even developed bellies by now. Mm. Have you obtained love of Godhead? It is known that when you visit holy places like this one, you will attain perfection. Have you visited here? Have you visited Vrindavan? Yes. Have you attained perfection? On the way, Maharaj. It is known that through chanting you attain love of Godhead. Have you chanted? Yes, yesterday. Have you attained love of Godhead? On the way, hopefully one day. What is the reason why this has not happened? And he gives the answer. It is due to offenses unto the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that we have not obtained these goals. And then he quotes a verse from Padma Purana to prove his point. Kete paradha vipendra namno. It starts like this. And the translation is, O best of the Vipras, O best of the Brahmanas, tell us, what are those offenses unto the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead which destroy the spiritual attainment of a man and then leads him to materialism? So this needs to be understood. I want to give you an example. I was for a long time in the treatment of a doctor who could treat anyone and everything. He even treated a tiger in the zoo. Yes, then he treated the firemen of in New York who had rushed into the 9/11 building, the Twin Towers, and who had breathed in all these asbestos fumes and who were very sick from this. And he treated them. He was very successful doctor. Then one day, and he treated me, and I could overcome a great ailment by his help. Then a boy from the slums came to him who had no money, and his body was covered with ugly blisters. I had seen him. He was there when I was there in the clinic. I mean, he came for a day visit. I also came for day visits only. And he treated him for free. He wanted to document his case. But after half a year, all his medical knowledge had not been successful. In fact, the boy had even more illnesses and diseases. So finally, he asked the boy, what did you do? What do you do so that my medicines don't work with you? They work with everyone. They work with tigers and firemen from New York, but not with you. The boy said, I don't know. I take everything as you say. Then he said, what do you do for a living? And he found out, I think I've told this here already, that this poor boy, in order to earn a few rupees, was working in a chemical factory as a living spoon. Yes, this is India now. Here, how amazing the Indian mind can work. He was jumping every day into a huge thing with chemicals, maybe a vessel this big, like or this, like this part of the room, and he was swimming to stir up the chemicals. India, it's not only very spiritual, it's also so very crazy, the country. So he worked as a living spoon, to stir up the chemical broth. And of course, because all the time these chemicals came through the pores of his body into his bloodstream, the Ayurvedic medicines did not work, although they were applied with due diligence and with a motivation to treat him. My dear devotees, something like this is also taking place in our life. We do all good things, but while we do all the good things and all the right things, there are a few things which we don't do right. And these few things, they have an effect and they curtail the effect of chanting. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes this verse where it said, with great tremor, great fears, this person comes to a Brahmana and says, I'm chanting, but it doesn't work. Tell me what I do wrong. And he's afraid to hear it. But then the Padma Purana packs it right out on the table, what we do wrong. We blaspheme devotees of the Lord? Perhaps. It's the 10 offenses. We are not realizing that the Lord is supreme. We disobey the orders of the spiritual master. We don't care for the scriptures. We interpret the holy name outside of traditional exegesis, explanation. We consider the holy name's glories as mere imagination. Yes, we heard this. We commit sinful acts with the idea that the name will absolve us or free us from the karma, and so on. It all ends which we don't have complete faith in the name. And therefore, because this is in our way, our progress is slow, and it needs sometimes a microscope in order to find out where the progress is done. It's so minimal. What could we do? There is a logic in our philosophy that if you make an offense or have a problem somewhere, you go to the source of the problem and you solve it. For instance, if you offend a devotee, you go to him and beg for his forgiveness. The example which is given comes, which illustrates this. When you slip on the earth, maybe there's a banana peel and you slip, the only place, although you are now half in the air and soon you will be on your Steißbein, on your coccyx, you will fall and you will hurt very much. The only place where you can take shelter is the earth itself. You have slipped from the earth, but with your foot you have to somehow plant it so that you can avoid the fall. So in the same way, we have slipped from chanting the holy name. We must now take full shelter at the holy name, and that alone will solve the problem. For us to take shelter at the holy name, our chanting has to progress from being lip deep to becoming heart deep. This is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's recommendation. Don't continue to chant lip deep, but chant heart deep. Wow! When can you chant heart deep? It's when your devotional heart is awakened and you turn to Krishna and you sincerely asked him to accept you in his service. That will take care of the situation. My dear devotees, this chanting is not impersonal sound. It's Krishna. And if you have problems in chanting Krishna's name, you have to go to Krishna and ask him to help you. I have, in my own creative way, I do 3 things where I turn really to Krishna in the holy name. And I would like to share this. These are not speculative methods, but the way I have arranged them, they are purely personal. The first thing I do is when I chant and sit down is I look at my attention. For instance, today, I'm a little ill. You can hear it, sometimes I'm coughing. So I have not chanted any round today. What I have done is I have gotten up, I did my exercises that helped me to get through the day. Then I prayed, and then I read from a book called Vrindavan Mahimamrita, because I want to go to Vrindavan. I must go to Vrindavan very soon, otherwise I'm finished, and so on. And then I prepared this lecture, and now when I will go away from this room into my room, I have not chanted one round. It will be 9 o'clock. I will be hungry like the rest of you. These are not the best circumstances to chant good rounds. But what I will do is I sit down before a picture of the Lord, before his holy names, and I will work on my intention. It's in Sanskrit called sankalpa. I will make an inner orientation. I will say, I'm now have the chance to chant your holy name. I will simply try my best today. Simply. I beg you for your help, my dear Lord. I want to chant your holy name. This is called, I make a sankalpa, an inner orientation. Everything is possible in life if you have a sankalpa before you do it. This is a secret, one of the many secrets of spiritual activities. We form an intention. Who of you follows 4 rules and regulations? Is it easy? Not always. But because you have given during your initiation a vow, I will follow 4 rules and regulations, then it becomes easier. You remember, when there is, 4 rules is not so difficult to follow, but with an intention which you have fixed in your heart, things become easy. Or intention maybe, who of you reads Prabhupada's books regularly? Well, we have to be, I'm looking to your face. I'm not so convinced by your facial expression. My mother can read minds, and she gave that to me, so... We knew this Swami is strange, But if you've heard it so often, the Swamijis have told it so often, and therefore, you know you have to do it, and you have an intention to do it, therefore it's easy. Without this, you wouldn't do it. The intention... In marriage, for instance, that you have the intention, we quarreled so much in the past. my intention is I will not quarrel any longer with you. Good. Then I also don't quarrel with you. So then when this is an intention, it becomes, you can do it, or you keep it in a certain acceptable doses. Your quarrel, you don't you don't quarrel extremely. So intention building is so important. When a boxer goes in the boxing ring and he has a strong intention, I must win this fight for my country, who is attacked by Russia, then he is very unconquerable in his determination. Intention gives you so much strength. If you can use this in your own chanting. The next thing is, when you chant, you have to do that from a place where you can be sincere. Many times we are not so engaged in sincere discussions. Maybe 80% of our talks are just very ordinary, like you can find on the street also, with people who talk on the streets. We are not often talking about Krishna in our movement for Krishna consciousness. We have seen. So when you chant, you have to sit down as the Krishna does, not as the Maya does, or the Krishna Dasi, not as the Maya Dasi. Very important. That part in you, which came to Krishna consciousness, that part of you, who is not yet fully realized, that part in you which longs for Krishna, that part has to chant. And finally, you can you have to see, whenever you are inattentive, you are correcting this. We remember a morning in Navadvip, which is documented in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has done all night what? Kirtan, yes, Sankirtan, with his devotees, and he comes out and he meets the residents of Navadvip, who give him fruits like bananas, perhaps coconuts, I imagine, and so on. And he then gives them instructions. He says, you have been with me in many avatars, incarnations. Now you are with me again, and I give you this instruction. Please chant this Mahamantra. And he tells them the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes a purport to this. He says, one achieves perfection of chanting the mantra when one keeps the vibration in the heart and controls the wandering mind. Try to do this when you chant. Keep the mantra in your heart in a very confidential, private, intimate place, your heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and so on. And when you catch your mind wandering, just bring it back from where it went. My dear devotees, these three simple things will help you to avoid also positively the offenses. Because when you are inspired in Krishna consciousness, you will make a big round around the offenses. You will not see the name materially. I want to give you an example. This morning I came and heard this Arctic song. Now, amongst those who are music lovers, it is known that the drum set is out of rhythm. It's not with the song. And every time I hear it, who plays that drum? Why didn't they take a drummer who knows his work? All the time I think, this is an offense against me, the musical taste, And today, even on the way, I came, oh no, the drumming will be again out of, it will not be on the beat, So I said, today, Sacinandana Swami, we make a revolution. We don't listen to the drumming, we listen to the mantra. And we will turn our attention from that which does not work to that which works. And this simple thing gave me the most blissful darshan, and so on. So you have to always know, your mind will go for the false. Your mind will go for the material, will see things materially. But you have to choose. I want to live a spiritual life. I don't want to live a material life. You have to make that choice. And then give attention there. And by the way, those who play Mridanga, they should learn to, it doesn't mean that we invite everyone to play for the rhythm section. It should be people who are trained in rhythm. Yes, but anyways, if that is not there, then no problem. So this is how you need to also orient your life. When you chant the holy name, go to the essence. Sit down with the intention, I will give my best. Connect with the sincere part in you who wants to be a Krishna Das and a Krishna Dasi and is tired to be a Maya Das and Maya Dasi. And remain attentive. I have put this together like Keshava Maharaj in an acronym. It's Isha. Isha. Isha is a name of Krishna which is given in the Mahabharata. I for intention, S for what? Sincerity. A for? You know already everything. So Isha, no? That I found is very, very powerful. And please take this little, you will forget everything from these lectures because you are Hare Krishna listener. But one thing you can remember, you can even type it in your distraction machine, your mobile telephone. Isha, no? For E for attention, S for sincerity, A for attention. And you will have excellent experiences. I found out when you are sincere, my dear devotees, you will naturally not feel inclined to commit offenses. You will naturally guard your mind and intelligence so that they don't go into these, how do you say, offensive area. Because all the offenses really come from the 10th offense. How is this? To still remain attached to I and mine and not have complete faith in the chanting. What this means is you still remain attached to your ego. And all the offenses which come before, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and are only manifestations of the ego, the attachment to the ego. The grossest is when you make an offense against a devotee and you quarrel with him. That's an ego subject. You please go through the 10 offenses and you will see how they all come from the ego of I and mine in this material world. Krishna. So what do you think, having heard this? I must also, how do you say, excuse myself. Always when I go into these subjects, I make such strong statements, and I give examples which are not pleasant for everyone. You know, like the music example. I can imagine you faithful devotees. I never noticed that there's something with the drums. Yes, remain like this. Don't notice. Notice the mantra. Is best. What do you think? Our Krishna Chaitra Maharaj is there. Mm-hmm.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, intention, sincerity, attention. Isha.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. You mentioned that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur speaks of going from lip deep to heart deep chanting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could say something more about that. And can you share what the specific source of this is, where Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur speaks about this?
Yeah. Thank you very much. He has written one book, The Teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and there is an article, there is a section where he speaks on the holy name. You could find this in Mahanidhi Maharaj's The Art of Chanting. It is there. And there he gives a very interesting, it's a very, very important writing of his. He says that there are two names. One is Krishna, and one are only the letters of Krishna's name, the alphabetic name, he calls it. So we may chant this Hare Krishna, but unless we chant heart deep, it could be just the letters. And he gives an example of a capsula, a medicine capsula. Only when the capsula is filled with healthy medicine is it effective. If it is empty, or if there is poison inside, then this capsula will not work. So the heart deep chanting means it is the devotional chanting. Then he says, when there is not this devotional chanting, that is the chanting which is done through service, then we will never have the holy name. And he gives the example that Ravan kidnapped a Maya Sita, not the real Sita. So we will only have the letters of the holy name. Now, these are all instructions which are, I don't know how you are in your devotional life. It's good when we hear what we should not do, but it's very important to know what we should do. And I always find this instruction very good of him. He gives it in that section of the Chaitanya Bhagavat, where, let me see, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Bhagavat, yes, where Lord Chaitanya meets the Navadvipvasis and where he gives them the Hare Krishna mantra. It's one of two places in the Chaitanya Bhagavat where the entire mantra is mentioned. There in the purport he says, one achieves perfection of chanting mantra when one keeps the vibration in the heart and controls the wandering mind. If someone can give me the art of chanting, because our Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj is a wonderful preacher and gives many lectures, I would like to show him this reference directly. If someone can give me the art of chanting, I can easily find it. You have it, Muninder? Yes, so I will then give this where you have directly, because we need to have it direct. Plus you are a scholar, you may need to write at one time about it, and then we must always give the reference. That's very important. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj, I will slip out of the official role of the lecture. I think really this, and you, I think you, because you know me, you feel it. It is so important for me to myself become a good chanter, and to somehow help devotees, that I'm a little urgent in this, in my words, not like a. I'm really like a fiery preacher. So sorry for that. I have to. When I'm with a gentleman, I have to tune down my intensity. Good. Anyone else? There is, yes, that devotee. I don't see from here. Is it Ramananda Gopal? Yeah, good. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. Your instructions on the chanting is always very helpful for me. I had one idea that when we chant, or the service is not different from Krishna. So sometimes it happens to me that when I'm chanting, my mind is always dwelling on seva, on things, you know. And we have this also statements. I don't know, was it Guru Das or somebody in Vrindavan asked Prabhupada, when I sit down and chant, I only think of bricks and stones, because he was preparing the Krishna Balaram Mandir, and Prabhupada said that's chanting, or you know, this kind of considering. So what do you think about this?
Prabhupada's translation really of the mantra is, please engage me in your service. We know this. He said, that's the meaning of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, is this. Still, one might question how Srila Prabhupada derives this translation, because the mantra itself has only 3 names in the vocative, Hare, Krishna and Rama. Where is the word seva in this, you know? Now, Srimati Radharani, whom we are worshipping tomorrow, is the emblem of devotional service. From her, Bhakti emanates. It's an emanation of Radha. And Radha is known as the best of servants in the Bhagavatam. Her name derives from this word aradyate, no? Which Sukadev Goswami mentions. So when you chant, there is a few times Radha Rani's name there. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That's 4 times. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, Hare. That's altogether 8 times. When you address the deity of Radha, you address her as the one from whom Bhakti comes. And in the Garuda Purana it is said, wise men know that Bhakti means to engage in the service of Krishna. Further, Prabhupada always referred us to the tradition. And in one of the earliest explanations of the Hare Krishna mantra in our tradition, Gopal Guru Goswami offers us this reading. Hare, oh Hare, oh, make me worthy to engage in your service. He says, Hare, hey Hare, nitya seva, yogyam mam kuru. Please engage me in your service. Seva, no? And then Rama also, hey Rama, tatramam nitya seva, yogyam kuru. No? Oh Rama, please make me worthy to engage in your service. This idea of service means, how is it? Atasi Krishna Namadi, that Krishna, I cannot understand you if I'm not sevonmukhi, if I'm not turned towards your service. So here is why service is so important, and here is why Prabhupada said to Guru Das, it's good if you think about your service, because at that time the Krishna Balaram temple, it was difficult to build it because the Indians would always steal the building materials. Of course, what else? So we were not experienced to this, and they took advantage of the foolish Westerners in their mind. Yeah, I know. When you build in India, you have to sit on the building material so that it's not stolen under your, right in front of your eyes, perhaps even. So, but this is not the only thing which Prabhupada says. Not that now when we start to chant, we think of bricks and stones or our particular service, I need to think of the yogurt, I need to think of that the silver is polished, it's still so unpolished, and so on. It is, of course, sometimes it is so prominent in our mind, but I would always recommend take a piece of paper and write down silver needs to be polished, yogurt needs to be bought at Rewe, and so on, and or and so on. It's not that we think about these things, but we think of the person whose name we are chanting. That's the idea of the chanting. When sometimes service comes, in Seattle, Prabhupada said, I'm praying, Radha and Krishna, please let me take care of your bricks and stones. No, sorry, I'm made a mistake. I'm praying, Radha and Krishna, please attract me. I'm now trying to get substance from the reflection, and I'm frustrated. Please attract me away from the material world to your glories. No? That is what we do. Now, of course, when we are so much in seva, and sometimes these points come into our mind, this shopping list is there. Commit it to paper. Then you don't need to think about, because if you don't write it down, Ramananda Gopal, you always have to remember, oh yeah, what was it? I've forgotten. Yogurt. Oh no, what else? Silver polishing. More. So write it down. Then the paper does it free of cost. It holds your ideas. That's as good as I can do. But no, we try to become attracted to Radha and Krishna. It's a Yuga mantra, a mantra where the divine couple is worshipped, and we want to become attracted to them. And the word here is Nija Seva, the eternal service we want to do for them. We want to enter one day in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna and do our service there, like this. That's the goal of mantra chanting. Hare Krishna. Yes, Ramananda Gopal. A lady, yeah? Yes, please, I don't see you.
Thank you, Maharaj. I would like to ask you about this progressing process of chanting Hare Krishna and becoming a clear, maybe servant one day. And if we are thinking or doing, for example, paraphernalia or something like this, or other services here, there is a way to also think that this is what we will do in the spiritual world, or it's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What we will do in the spiritual world, is it the same of what we will do here? Or is it different? Such questions are very difficult to answer. I remember one answer of Prabhupada. It was one answer. He said, you will find this out when you go there. He deflected the question, in other words, and said, it's difficult to say at this stage, no? So you will find out when you go there. Yeah, I think that's the safest way to give an answer. But for sure, we will serve in the spiritual world. Why? Because we are servants, you know. That is what we do, and we do it in a perfect way when we awaken from this material illusion and material dream. But what exactly the service is, at least I have no ability to think and understand this. My dear devotees, I thank you very much for attending this class. What could you do to chant more with absorption? I was asking. Isha, good. Intention, when you sit down, put your attention, connect with the sincerity, and what is the attention? Yes, bring the mind back when it wanders. And love adds, we should be meek and humble. And pray. Yes. Good, yes. Wonderful. So, thank you all very much. I wish you a wonderful day. Our Govinda Dev will perhaps... When do we meet again, Govinda Dev? Today?
At 11.
What is at 11 again?
11, the idea was to have the main Kirtanias, the speakers, yourself, Maharaj,
Okay.
And just reflect on the power of spiritual celebrations and Harinam Sankirtan.
Oh, yeah.
And anybody who would like to participate also is welcome. So the idea was to not have an official lecture, but more like an introspection circle, something like this.
Wonderful.
And yes, then it's prasadam at 2 p.m. And then again from 4 p.m. onwards, we start with the Kirtan slots. And today with Julian Yatra for Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmana Singhadev in the afternoon already, and then after the Sandhya Arati Yagna. And if the weather allows, maybe the Yagna will be outside.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, I think we will receive many more guests and looking forward to celebrate. So 11 o'clock. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Sacinandana Maharaj ki jai.
Oh yeah, Hare Krishna. This is something that you should put 2 drops at your mouth. Yes, but it's not offered. Please do it. This is frankincense. You should drop it there or even smell it. Yeah, but it's like 100 drops inside. It's the best yet. Yeah. Oh, thank you. It's frankincense. Proper one. This is a mixture. This is so-called exodus. Let's throw out these viruses and all. Oh yeah, it is to be put this here. You should inhale. You can take it orally both, but this one is really a strong one, and it will work in some areas. Just not in the eyes, in private parts. Exactly, I'll bring it everything. Yeah, this is the last time I interviewed you, and now I have to discuss. I would like to put a photo of the last use. I think the Shatuda Singh was very mystical and strong for the cover. So I need to address this. What question do you want to share? Do you know remember Bhakti from his 30 years ago there is Sankirtan and he's passing through some difficulties at the moment. He already learned how to soul. Yeah. Peggy. Radha. Peggy. Yeah, he is really humble and really not such a nice kid. Please apply it. But first open. I tried to get Prabhupada to make an altar picture with stand up because it's
I got that one.
What do you think of this idea? So can you check? Can some lady check if there's a lady in? Hello? Can some lady check if there's a lady down there? Okay, can you do this now that I can ask her?
Mine. Come here. Okay. No, come here.
I thought that go into the just keep in the room.